welcome everybody to another edition of Behind the Lines.
Yeah, go Dogs, by the way.
That's right. We are taping this on the morning after our first national championship. So, a couple of proud alum here,
yes,
and
sir.
we're excited for Mississippi State and the fan base and the area. It's big deal.
It is a very big deal, and I can't help but think how good all those guys felt last night. It's going to be hard to top that.
That will be, but boy, those guys were excited. You always worry with those dog piles, though, that somebody's going to end up with a broken leg or something.
Yeah, I'm middle-aged now. I couldn't be on the bottom of that dog pile.
It concerned my wife greatly when they jump on each other like that. So things are going well.
Yeah, we're blessed, man. We really are. We've had a busy couple of years. As you're aware, if you're keeping up with us, we have a lot going on. But we like it that way. We're glad we can serve.
Keeping wide open. One of the things that we did want to talk about a little bit today, because it kind of is going to the back burner, but we're still seeing cases pop up, is COVID. We're still aware of what's going on there, taking our precautions.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit. You know, COVID about a year ago is when it really ramped up in the nation, and Fort County really felt it late last fall, winter, November, December-ish. We had about 15% of the workforce affected by it in some way, whether it was them individually or spouses or parents or children that needed to cause them to go quarantine. And after the first of the year, it just went away. We didn't see anything on it. You know, a lot of people got vaccinated. It died down. Recently, we have had one case pop up, and that's it. Do want to go back and remind people, during this whole time frame, Fort County continued to do what Fort County does at the same time that we were building a brand new subsidiary of broadband. So I'm really impressed that during all that, you know, the first month or two it hit, we quarantined folks, had crews working every other day, coming in at different times, staying away from each other. So if we did have an outbreak at Fort County, we could continue to serve our members. Well, after the first month or two, we realized, hey, we've survived this at the time we thought we had, and we could continue. So a lot of the employees really feel like they weren't impacted that much because they continued to work. Nobody missed a paycheck at Fort County. No members were impacted through their productivity or resources that we provide them. So I think when we compare Fort County to the rest of the country and rest of the world, I think we favored better than most in the sense that we continue doing what we're here to do, and it did not negatively affect us.
No, and I think that it speaks highly of the protocols that we did take that really kept a damper on any major outbreaks and allowed us, as you said, to kind of continue business as usual, and that this is the first case we've seen in quite a while. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to continue to do the things that we did and be prepared to maybe take next steps if that's necessary. But right now we're just kind of continuing as we are.
I would say that when you look at the revenue stream, you know, like you would think, the residential revenue stayed about the same. You would have predicted it tick up, right, if more people were at home. The small commercial side dropped off just a little bit, which you would think it would, right? But not as bad as you would have thought it would during COVID. So we're blessed. We've got good revenue. John, I know you're probably wanting to ask this question. I'm sure the members are too. How does COVID impact the rate structure, right? Do we perceive that we're going to need to increase rates because of the COVID impact to our revenue? No, our goal is to continue to keep rates low. You can talk to any employee at Fort County. We're doing things internal to make things as efficient as possible. So when and if we ever do need to do a rate increase, which I don't see one in the near future, we can honestly say we've done everything we can to stove that off as long as possible.
That's right. You know, when we ate a rate increase a few years ago, back in 2016. So
that's right, about $1.5 million.
That's right. We didn't pass that on, and that's of course wasn't just a one-time thing. That's a gift that keeps on giving. That's right.
$1.5 million a year.
So our members got that. You know, and we have done a terrific job in managing internally what we can to keep from raising costs, and signed a contract with TVA that will keep those rates stable for, you know, hopefully a long time.
Yeah, I would attribute it to three major things, John. One is all the employees at Fort County are making the right decisions and being good stewards of the members' assets. That's number one. Two, the board of directors are making wise financial fiduciary decisions that don't negatively impact the membership. And third is TVA. TVA is where we get our power from. They're making good strides financially where long term there's no rate increases. So I think all three of those combined is why this co-op is as strong as it is.
And doing good and looking forward to a bright future.
Yes, sir.
And part of that bright future, of course, is broadband.
Amen, yeah.
We are really blowing and going.
Oh, yeah, as of today, we'll probably hit
1,000.
Yep. I think this morning when we started this podcast, we had right at 987 members, customers online. I think by the end of the day, we'll hit 1,000.
So we'll do a celebration. Somebody's going to get a neat little basket of gifts, electronics. Well, I say little, a big giant TV and a bunch of stuff they can use their new broadband with, wireless speakers and I can't even. A smart clock and just there's all kinds of stuff out there.
John, that's
now.
amazing though if you think about it. I mean, a year ago, we did not know if we were going to do this.
That's right.
And then the state cares money came in July-ish, and now here we are. We hooked up our first customer in December. We have 1,000.
That's right.
And just think of the future: 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Hopefully 59,000 at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's a testament to the company that we are, the shoulders of the giants that we're standing on that got us in that position.
Yes, sir.
But then the people that we have in place now, because a lot of people are doing a lot of different things, but they're doing them well, and we're very excited. Getting so many great comments about broadband, able to do so many different things. You can't. People see you in a Fastnet hat and they want to stop and talk to you about it. And the two big things are, hey, I love it. And then the second one is, when is it getting to me?
And I love the fact that people associated with this on our historical great customer service we provide. They trust us. We answer questions quickly. They know they're not going to be on hold a long time. I have not heard anything negative about the product we serve.
No.
The service is great. If you're interested in it, please reach out to us.
That's right. You can contact us with questions or comments on our website, 4cfastnet.com. You can go and put your address in and go ahead and get in the system for service. I know that some of those folks on the end of it, looks like early 2024 is a long way away, but heck, we're already halfway through 2021.
Yes,
so it's going to be here before you know it. We're actually a little ahead of a schedule, I think.
We are very ahead of the schedule. And one thing, John, I don't know if you're hearing this, but I'm really hearing that people are picking up this service. They have a much better internet service than they had before, because nothing's better than fiber, right? I mean, there's other technology out there, cable, satellite. Nothing's faster than fiber. So if you choose to, which I'm hearing people are, they're getting away from their traditional satellite or cable company.
That's right.
Picking this up, going a la carte, picking up what they want to, and they're saving money. So they have a better product and they're saving money. So if you haven't looked into that avenue, look into it. Now, it might cause you to change your historical view on flipping through the channels in the channel guide, but it's just like unplugging your old home phone. If you can get past that stigma of doing it, I think you have a better product and you save money.
That's right. And we've got resources to help you do that. We've got our Streaming TV Genius, which is on our website, that can help advise you to find those TV packages that are right for you. Make sure you can still get all the channels that you want. You'll just get them over the internet instead of through cable. But it's a whole new world out there, and people are finding new ways to use it and enjoy it every day.
Yeah. If you have questions on broadband, call our call center. Call John Turner, head of our marketing department. He can help answer any questions you have.
That's right. And we'll hopefully be coming to your neighborhood soon.
Yes, sir.
We will be back in just a minute with Brent Lochala, our key accounts manager, to talk solar, all things solar.
And as always, thank the wizard behind the camera, David Kilpatrick, for running everything that you can't see.
That's right. Thank you, David. And we'll be right back.
Service has been an American tradition since this country was formed. Service is also part of everything we do at 4 County. Please join us and WCBI in saluting all those who have served our nation, and we pray for those who are active members of our armed services.
All right, we're back, and we've got a guest today, our resident solar expert, key accounts manager, Brent Lochala. Brent, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so you're good. Glad to talk about this on this platform.
So solar is a pretty big topic out there right now, from large to small. What are we seeing a little bit?
Well, solar is not an emerging technology anymore. It's here, and we're seeing it a lot in residential. We're getting a lot of inquiries about it because there's a lot of it. It's a popular thing now. So, and unfortunately, with anything like that, there's a lot of misinformation as well. So that generates interest, and we get a lot of calls about it.
So, what kind of misinformation? What kind of information is out there? What are the calls that you're getting talking about?
Well, there's it's not exclusive to us. It's valley-wide, or probably nationwide. There's a lot of people, since the cost of solar has come down, it's not as cost prohibitive anymore. It's opened up a whole new market, and there's a lot of money in it, and so we see a lot of solicitors, and it's, with social media and free advertising and that access to people being what it is, it's easy to target that.
Yeah.
And so we get a lot of calls. There's a lot of companies that promise maybe no cost to you. You can get the power company out of your life. All things that sound good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reality to it. So there's like anything, there's some truth to it. There's some, like I said, technology. Solar is a good technology, but although sunshine's free, solar power isn't necessarily, and that's one of the sort of lines that you see in the industry.
So when somebody is thinking about solar, or if you were going to just give somebody the 5-minute thumbnail sketch, what do they need to be thinking about? What are the things to be considering when you're talking about solar?
Well, if you're looking at it from an economic standpoint, which most people are, most of the calls I get are people looking to save money. Let's reduce cost, which is a good thing to try to do. What you really want to look at is solar. The challenge with solar, aside from the cost, the equipment is expensive, is that solar produces when most people are not consuming. In the industry, you call that off-peak generation. Without getting too deep in industry terms, most of us, and particularly if you're concerned about saving money, you're fairly efficient already, right?
Yeah.
So when you leave, you've got the thermostat setting back. You're not, you're watching your dollars and cents already. So if you leave and go to work or go to school, that's the time when you're not there is when solar is doing most of its work. So one of the biggest challenges we see is that the solar production doesn't necessarily line up with our lives, right?
Yeah.
When you get home from work in the summertime, you bump the thermostat back, you start doing laundry or cooking. Well, solar's already done its deal, and it's going down as your load ramps up. So without a lifestyle shift, it's hard to make solar work.
All right, but the other part of that, Brian, is a former accountant. Well, I guess you're never really a former accountant.
Probably former, yeah.
But so people have this thought, in their heads that they're going to be selling power back to us or TVA and making money that way. But that's really not the truth either, is it?
No, and I think Brent touched on it. If you looked at a graph over the past decade on the cost of solar installation, it has drastically slowed down, right? That and the fact that you see solar products everywhere. You see them at Tractor Supply. You see them at ATV stores. You can charge your battery with it. A lot of people run gates off of them. The cost of those panels have dropped a lot. The biggest issue, and Brent touched on it, that I see is the sales part of it. You have a lot of salesmen that come and aggressively try to sell a product, and I don't know that they necessarily know our rate structure in the Valley of TVA, and they're not always accurate in what they tell people. So I would highly encourage our membership. Remember that Fort County Electric Power Association is member owned, right? And we're here to serve you. We're not for profit. We're not trying to make a margin on these issues. So we want you to contact Brent, contact John, contact our customer service, and ask valid questions so that you're not taken advantage of by some fly-by-night companies. I'm not saying all of them are, but there are some out there. There's a lot of people that are just trying to sell a product, make $1, and move on. We don't want you taken advantage of. But solar products are getting cheaper. It is beneficial to some people in some areas, but it's not the end-all, be-all answer to your electric needs. Right. You still need to be tied to the grid. To be able to leave the grid and go solely on your own solar, I don't see that very often. Have y'all seen that much?
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
And you touched on one thing. When I get these calls, our main concern is looking out for the member.
Yeah.
And you don't want, obviously we can't tell the member how to spend their money, but really we're in a position to advise them of a lot of things related to solar. We're in the power production business, and like I said, there's a lot of these. I don't want to just call them predatory. There are some predatory there's an aspect to this business where some of these companies are essentially selling a loan. And so there's some things you should look out for, and we encourage you to do your homework. And one of the, you say do your homework, most people are going to go Google it. You're going to get on the internet and look. Well, once you do that, just know that there's targeted advertising.
Yeah.
Once you start Googling and looking into solar, you're going to get bombarded with some of these ads. And every time you pull up Facebook or Instagram, there's going to be an ad on the side, for solar. And just really do your homework. Some of these companies will, one thing that should be a red flag is if they tell you that the power company's against it and don't contact them, we'll contact them for you. That should raise a red flag, okay? Because we talk to members about solar every day. We're
And we have a lot of residential solar
That's right.
on our system.
Yeah, we have
so-
about 18, 20 residential solar projects out of
That's
about
right.
50,000 roughly.
Yeah. So and that's because again, it's something that people want to do more
Yeah.
than something that
Right.
they're going to get paid to do. It will benefit them, but we have been a big supporter of solar since the get-go. Brent actually serves on a solar advisory committee for TVA's LPC, so we're actively involved, and we've got programs and resources
That's right.
to help guide. What we want to do is make sure that the members have the best possible information to make a decision
And John, I
for
think you
themselves.
said it before, we just want to be part of the solution. And that's in everything we do, whether it's solar, electric vehicles, broadband. We want to provide what our members need and want and give them accurate, factual answers as they move into that project. And I think you and Brent have done that on the solar side.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think one last thing that we want to touch on before we let Brent get out of here is, one of the reasons why solar is such a big topic is we're seeing a lot of big projects in
Yeah.
the area. And so that kind of brings it top of mind. You're seeing that, and they're thinking, well, if these big boys are investing in it, you're putting this
Yeah.
much solar in there, well, it must be good for me too, but that's not necessarily the case. Talk a little bit about those big projects that are coming in and what that means.
Yeah, so there's a real big difference between utility scale solar and rooftop residential solar. It's a completely different market. When you get to the scale of these big projects that make the headlines, the 200 megawatt, and just for scale, that's huge. Okay, that's many cities worth of solar.
It
That's a
takes
lot.
like 7 acres per 1 megawatt.
That's right.
So
So that's a big project, and so the big difference with things like that, with those type arrays and those type projects is, if you think of the economies of scale,
Yeah.
when you build it that large, your cost per watt, gets really low and manageable, and a lot of that money, those are big economic development projects. Really.
Yeah.
That incentivizes the big Facebooks and Amazons and some of these big fish, so to speak, in the
Yeah.
economic
and
development
that's really the
world.
only way it makes financial sense
That's right.
is just to make it that large because you have all the front end costs, right?
That's right. You reduce that front end cost and you're generating a lot of power.
Yeah.
So it changes that payback formula. With residential solar, once you've done these things to maximize your energy efficiency, a lot of times when I talk to members, you get to talking to them and they'll talk about where their costs are, and there's other things they could do that, if you're just looking at the economics, they get a bigger bang for their buck with updating that central unit, doing some, put a programmable thermostat in. But once you've done all that, if you're still interested in solar, like I said, it's great technology. Just manage your expectations.
Yeah.
Just don't be fooled. Like I said, if someone says it's no cost to you, or get the power company out of your life,
Yeah.
give us a call.
It'd be hard to do. I've seen people in Alaska do it, but I don't think it's very comfortable.
No, so we do have programs and resources. Give us a call or go online and check out our website. We've got resources there, but we stand by to try to help you make the best decision you can. And we also have other programs that if solar is not your cup of tea, you want to look at replacing your HVAC. We've got programs for that. We can get you an on-bill loan if you qualify. We've got energy audits we can do. The hot weather's here. Unfortunately, we had a beautiful spring, but we're starting to see summer, so we can do energy audits and help you manage your energy use that way. Please take advantage of what we have, because again, as Brian said, we're here to help you. We want to make life better. We want to make it better for you to use our product. And
Johnny, your group's doing a great job marketing and aligning with our mission of improving the quality of life of all of our members. So thank y'all for the work you do.
well, thank you for everything you do, and I guess that kind of wraps it up for this month. We'll see you in July.
All right.